All right, about to start. Well, I'm going to say step one. Step one was tearing off all the old air filter setup. This is the breather hose that goes up in the bottom of it, so I'll have to incorporate that into the canister air filter setup that I just bought, which it has a little nipple for that. It's probably a different size, so I may have to drill it, sleeve it down with something. We'll see. But for now, just trying to get my pattern for the throat of the intake part here. So there's a little lip there that on the bottom of the air cleaner, there's a recessed double wall recess that goes around there, a little rubber gasket, but dirt was getting past there. It wasn't a good seal. So my plan is to make a plate that will sit on top around this perimeter, have a flange out about 3/4 of an inch all the way around the whole thing, and be thick enough that I'll get one layer up, at least one or two, whatever it takes to get it past this lip here, there, with it all with the square cut in it. Then I'll make a piece that bridges all the way over with a circle cut in it for the intake pipe that's going to go to the hose that's going to go to the canister. So it'll just be a straight shot, down from the canister into the carburetor, and so I'll bridge it with that. Use the stock, bolts. What do they have in there? Recessed nuts or something down in there that I can run bolts down into and cinch that down. And between any layers of whatever ABS plastic that I use for the flanging here, I'll silicone between them, between what has the square cut out and what has the round, and then hoping that I could either find some PVC pipe or something that'll fit. I can cut or cut my circle to match, fit just right, and I can glue with it kind of stuck down in a little bit, or with a reduction flange that comes up from the back of the plastic, so I can glue that and make sure it's got a really good seal on all the portions of it. And then just my silicone hose section will be hose clamped onto what stubs up here and then goes into the neck of the canister. And then out the side of the canister, I'm hoping to run a flex hose that'll go flex over there, kind of around up past the horn area there, and then go up into the top. And I'll cut a hole up here and put my little rain cap air intake up here. So that'll be drawing from outside the machine and not from the swirling dust down in this engine compartment, because it gets really bad in here. And so that's the plan. I'll try and piece together the video. Just kind of wanted to talk through it right now. I'm in my Connex, so I don't have good lighting or a lot of space to really do this. The excavator's right up against it right here. Can't even put the ride plate down on the back of the skid steer. So yeah, I'm just trying to show this the best I can, and hopefully you're following along, and I'll make this work. I really think that there is a 4-bolt, because there's 4 bolts that come through and hold the carburetor to the actual intake manifold that come through, and then the that intake part for the air cleaner on there, it all bolts to it, 1, 2, 3 pieces like that. I believe somebody makes one that goes on that back side that goes from the square port to a round port, and I've just been struggling to find that. Maybe I can find it in my archived photos or something. I need to go back and look, and so maybe I won't make this. I'll be thinking about doing it and looking for those photos, and if I can't find one I can buy at a reasonable price, then I'll just make that adapter at this point, and we'll go from there. So I will add on, update, do whatever here to this video before I release it, and let people know what I've done and what canister, what part numbers and stuff I'm using to do this conversion. So hopefully it'll be a good one. Hopefully it'll help people, because I know there's some people out there dealing with the same air filter issues as me, with this everything leaking past it. If you're in some harder pack stuff, working in gravel, working lawns, whatever, we don't have the silt that I have, probably not an issue. But where I'm working, it's very silty, and it just gets past everything. All right, bye now. Well, she fits. Goes down over that lip. So I will have to get both of them. This is the first one fitting. It's a pretty tight fit. I need two stacked up. So it shows it very well. Wants to focus on my hands. Not very good lighting. So this lip right here sticks up past the thickness of this. I mean, ideally, if I had a piece of this that was one piece thick enough to go up past that just a little bit or right at the top, I'd be perfect. But I don't, so I'm making it multi-layer. So I got two of these, and then the top one will compress and have just a circle cut out in the middle back here for the neck part to come up to go to the air cleaner. So I will keep plugging away. It looks like it's working so far. So fingers crossed, I will keep moving forward. All right, double plates stacked up. So they come up above the throat lip part of the other mount. So then my top one will go on there with just a hole in it with a neck out of it. Take that one off and you can see the lip protrusion. Let's see if I can get out of the light enough. Quit making shadows here. So that's why I had to stack this up. A thinner piece would work, but this is the only thickness of the ABS I have, so that one lined up and snap her on there. And yeah, need to trim up my edges, make everything nice and even. But I'll wait till I get the third piece and I get my bolt holes drilled, line everything up and bolt them together, and then I'll go around and trim the edges and neaten it up. But so far it looks like it's heading in the right direction. Like I said, I'll keep plugging away and see how it works. Okay, marking my holes to drill, and you'll see that these are not centered. Across here they're riding that direction versus that way. They're up a little higher. So what I'm doing is just lining up the outer square of this and centered over those sleeves right there. And I'm making some marks, and then I put a little spark arrestor piece on top to get my center holes laid out, marked. I just use an X-Acto knife to kind of drill into the plastic to get a starter point for my drill bits. So hopefully that'll be lined up and work. Alright, was about to give up, and then my hole saw showed up and my hose showed up. So here's the stack, is the base manifold piece, and then next piece up, which is the one that was notched out bigger to fit that down in there. And then in the width of the gray part right there is the same as the black underneath. And a little lock ring down on here. So everything's sandwiched in there, and that will still fit down over the top of the intake. Actually, I see that it won't at this point because, let's see, I think the gray part is going to be a little tall, so I'm probably going to have to put a little slot across there so that the little square lip can go in there, right across there. I'm going to have to make a clearance for that. So I see that now. Wasn't seeing it until I got it all put together. But yeah, because it goes about halfway up the width of. All right, I think that's going to work. I got to have different bolt sizes, lengths, whatever, but here's the bottom of it. See, I had to put the notch across the gray part to go over the perimeter lip. I was forgetting about that part, but let's see. Line up the bolts here again, and she just snugs down on there nice and steady and stable. So had to make sure I'm behind this fuel line here, but I gotta shape up the whole perimeter of that still, and I'll keep plugging away here. All right, about to be no turning back time, so I'm about to destroy the stock air filter mount. Air filter fits up here, There's the intake part, throat of it. So I have to cut out enough section here to clear the new part I'm putting in where it has the tube coming up to go to the canister, because I'm going to use this. Still has the mounts for the front plastic to go on there. It does screw down so it'll be stable. It has some little clips on the back here that clip on, so this will be a nice stable platform to make some mounts come off of here to support my canister. So that's the plan. Alright, sitting on the mount, got to cut the hose, intake hose right there, and then I can get this bolted in. I still need to run my snorkel up through for the rain cap and whatnot, and then I have my other piece here trimmed to go on here, so it kind of hides that, makes it look a little more factory. I'll still be able to put the screws in the top corners here, be able to bolt this front piece onto here, so it shouldn't look too bad when I'm done. I still got to pull all that apart over there and, you know, shape it and all that stuff and get the right size bolts. But almost there. All right, quick little video here. I don't know if my phone shut off, but you could actually leave this rib in and tie this part together right here and just cut out the underside. And